If you separate yourself from the body and rest in pure reality, then even now you are free, peaceful, and at ease. At first, this may sound strange. How can I separate myself from my own body? Right? I live through thought, I eat through it, I walk through it, I feel pain through it, I see the world through it. So how can I say that I am not the body? I think the answer begins with a very simple question. Who is the one saying my body? I say my hand. I say my eyes. I say my body is tired. Or I say my mind is disturbed. So here's the thing. I do not usually say I am my hand. I say my hand. I do not say I am my thoughts. I say my thoughts, right? There seems to be a difference between the thing I experience and the one who says, this is mine. For me, this is where the investigation becomes interesting. I have had many bodies in one lifetime. Everybody has. The body I had as a child is gone. The body I had as a teenager is gone. The body I have today also will change. My face changes. My hair changes. My height and weight changes. So every cell also changes. Even the body I see in the mirror today is not exactly the body I saw yesterday. Yet I still say I am the same person. So I am not simply the body. The body is changing, but something remains present through all these changes. Then let us look at the mind. My thoughts also change constantly. Yesterday I believed something strongly. Today I may laugh at that belief. Once upon a time I thought spirituality was everything. Today I am laughing at it. Not in a funny way, but seeing the truth as it is. Yesterday I wanted something desperately. Today I may not even care about it. So one moment we are all happy, the next moment we are angry. Then we are afraid or hopeful. Then we become completely tired of everything. So if I and you were every thought that passed through my mind or our mind, then we would become a different person every minute. But I know that thoughts are changing. I can say I had the thought. That means the thought came and went. So I am not simply my thoughts either. This is important because most of our suffering begins when we confuse what happens with what we are. The body feels pain. Then the mind says, I am suffering. A person rejects me. Then the mind says, I am unwanted. Or I fail at something. Then the mind says, I am a failure. Or someone insults me. Then I spend 3 days replaying that insult in my head as if I have been appointed the official historian of my own humiliation. This is how suffering grows. The original event may be small, but the mind builds a house around it or a palace around it. A person says one unpleasant sentence, we remember it, we analyze it, we repeat it, we imagine what we should have said, or we imagine what they were thinking. This is what identification does. It takes an experience and turns it into an identity. I do not simply experience sadness, I become a sad person. I do not simply experience fear, I become an anxious person. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? The identity continues, and then I carry yesterday into today. This is why separating myself from the body does not mean hating the body or ignoring it. Only narrow-minded spiritual people do all these things. It means understanding its place. If my body is hungry, I should eat. I should not think that I am not the body and mind and fool myself. If I am tired, I should rest. I should not be like those narrow-minded spiritual people who think God is trying to teach us something. Because if a God is trying to teach you something by removing your hunger, that is not God. That is your stupidity portrayed on God. Because God is here to give wisdom, not give you pain. And there is one person who was telling me, without pain there is no wisdom. That's not necessarily true, because much of pain happens because we do not want wisdom. If we were surrendered to the flow of our intuition or the nature, things would have been different. That is another topic for another time. So if the body is in pain, I should not pretend that the pain does not exist. The body is a real experience, but it does not have to become my entire identity. Think of a car. I own a car, let us say. I may drive it every day. I may take care of it, but I do not normally believe that I am the car. If the car gets a scratch, I do not conclude that my existence has been destroyed. Yet when the body gets a wrinkle, I behave as though reality has committed a personal insult. I do have one white hair. And I was seeing that in mirror and I was like, oh my God, you're becoming old. So when the body becomes weaker, what we think is I'm becoming less. Or when the body gets older, we think I'm losing myself. But what exactly are we all losing? What exactly am I losing? The body is changing because that is what bodies do. A flower does not fail because it eventually becomes dry. Or a sunset does not fail because it disappears. The body also has its beginning, its movement, and its ending. That is not a tragedy invented by philosophy. That is simply what happens. And this is where the truth becomes more important. Turn your mind within and see for yourself that you have always been the absolute, pure, unblemished, self-aware reality on which the entire drama of life is happening. And this is the truth. You are not the body and mind. You are the pure, self-aware reality. You are the origin of all origins. But you think you need spirituality. You think you need someone like me to tell you what to do and what not to do. You think that by following a method you will reach divine. That is absolute narrow-minded. That is like a wave saying, if I follow a method I will become ocean. Or like a woman saying, if I visit different ashrams created by women, I will become a woman. What narrow-minded stuff is that? Turn your mind within and see things for yourself. Once you see that you have always been the awareness and nothing else, what needs to happen will eventually happen. You will become mere instruments at the hand of divine or at the hand of nature, whatever you want to call it. And this is such a simple truth. We want to complicate it by putting philosophy into it. You must remove every definition, because the moment you define, you have limited it. That's how things are. That is why I emphasize on silence and solitude, because only in silence you actually find out who you are, because your true nature is silence, not this or that. Your true nature is not even bliss, because if there is something happening, that is not it. Your true nature is absolute neutrality, absolute silence. Ultimately, I will conclude my speech by saying that follow the message, not the messenger. I'm doing all the social media just to make a living and for the joy of speaking alone. You are the self-aware reality, which is the substratum of all, whether you like it or not, or believe it or not. By the way, her name is Evie. This is my new bird.